Welcome everyone, good morning. My name is Francia. Today we're going to practice a Vinyasa. It's going to have some gentle aspects at some times, and we're going to end with a nice, really gentle relaxation and some closing poses that will help bring down the body. But we're going to actually move a little bit in the beginning and in the middle of the practice. So make sure that you have a couple of blocks that will be handy for you, and maybe a blanket or a small pillow or something that you can use to elevate the hips or to accommodate for the knees. So let's start in a comfortable seated position. However it's comfortable for you. I'm actually going to elevate my hips now. Here we go. Make sure that you feel your sits bones and that you feel that your tailbone is kind of balanced, so that you're not tucking under through the tailbone and that you're not arching back, but there's somewhere in the middle of those two positions. Lengthen up through the rib cage, through the abdomen, shoulders relax back and down. And let's just take a moment here with the eyes closed to bring awareness to the body and to the space that we are in, and to honor our practice today with a little bit of introspection. I know that we are well into the new year, but it doesn't hurt each time we set foot on our mat to kind of bring an intention to our practice, remembering that this very physical practice is actually a breathing practice. It's a practice of controlling and moving with breath. And it also is a practice of mindfulness. So as you come onto your mat, see if you can bring in a little bit of those two aspects. Try to regulate your breath, keeping it natural and steady. And try to calm the mind. Letting whatever has occurred yesterday or through this morning, or whatever issues or situations are awaiting for you in the future, let them just move away for a moment. Stay completely focused on this moment in your life, sitting here on your mat preparing to start your yoga practice. And from this place, we can begin anew. We can begin fresh each time. Another deep breath in. Slow breath out. And with the next inhale, let's draw the palms together at the center of the chest, and we'll prepare for Om. With the next exhale breath, let's release the arms down. Let's relax the shoulders back. If you need to change the seated position, you obviously can. Let's bring the fingertips down to the floor, and then just use the fingertips to kind of push up off the floor like you want to lengthen through your torso. Bring your chin down toward your chest, and then inhale, lift your chin up towards the sky. Alternating between those two, chin down and chin up. Chin down, just moving through the neck, and chin up. The arms are engaged and you're pressing into the fingertips. If your arms are not quite as long as mine are, maybe your palms are down. Chin up and chin down. Make sure that you feel the back of your neck with the chin down, and make sure that you feel the front of your throat with the chin up. One more time, chin down and chin up. Good. Now, coming to center, we're just going to move side to side. Still pressing into the fingertips or palm. Just move the chin over right shoulder, center, chin over left shoulder. We're going kind of fast here. A lot of times we move a little slower, but I want to create a little bit of rhythmic movement. So we'll use the breath to regulate the movement and keep yourself steady. And you can take your gaze as far to the right as possible, and then as far to the left as possible before coming back to center. You're always welcome to go a little slower than I am, or perhaps a little faster if you like. All right, one more time. Chin to the right, chin to the left. And coming back to center. Still the arms are engaged, fingertips down. Tilt your head to the side and hold. You can use your right arm to bring it to your left ear and just gently pull. Now you're still pressing down through the left fingertips and keep your body nice and tall and straight. So try not to lean too much one side or the other. And then gently take the chin down towards the armpit. Keep using the hand if you like to help add a little extra stretch. Take the chin back to center. One more time, hold. And then exhale, release. Right hand down, fingertips on the mat. Lift the rib cage and chest. Other side. Again, you can use the hand or not. You can just let the head hang. This is a really nice position to be in, and maybe you can move and floss through those nerves a little bit, or you can use the hand. I like using the hand. It helps to give a little extra pull, and you're pushing down to the right hand. If the palm comes down to the floor, you can try that. Mine doesn't quite come down, so I stay on my fingertips. And then bringing the chin down towards the armpit so that you're now holding the back of your head, tucking it down. Easy and steady. Feeling the way through the stretch, and then back to center. One more time, hold. Nice and upright torso, shoulders moving down, especially that opposite shoulder. And then exhale, let's release back to center. Okay, let's bring the hands behind the back. Hold on to your opposite elbows here. So wiggle yourself through, just like our closing pose in our Ashtanga practice. Lift the rib cage and chest, and gently fold forward. Now you may not go very far. Just allow your body to come forward. Maybe the forehead can come to the floor. If the forehead easily comes to the floor, you can bring the chin to the floor or the tip of the nose. Wherever you are, steady your breath. Inhale deeply and exhale slowly and completely. Try not to lean one way or the other, so keep your body centered. And then inhale, slowly coming back to center. Lift the chest. Exhale, release the arms. We're going to cross the feet a different way. So if you were in half lotus, take your other foot into half lotus. Or if you were in regular cross-legged, just simply bring the other foot in front. Resettle your hips down. Make sure that you feel stable. Make sure that your legs feel good. Don't overdo it with your half lotus. If the ankle doesn't feel right, then just simply come into a regular seated position. And then from here, we're going to take the right arm down towards the floor, open the rib cage and chest. So we're going to start with the rib cage, opening out to the side, and then reach that left arm, extend. And this might be where you want to stay here. If there's a little bit more, you can slide the arm away, or you can bend into the elbow. If you have a block nearby, you can use the block, bring the block underneath your forearm, so you can kind of go a little lower. You can always go all the way to the floor too, if that's accessible for you. It's a little too much for me this morning, so I'm going to use the block. Reach to the fingertips. Lengthen that left hip and left knee down. The opposite leg pulls down as that arm reaches up and over, and your chin is moving towards your armpit, and you're looking up at a diagonal. Inhale, slowly come back to center. You can transfer the block to the other side if you might need it. We'll see how it feels today. Starting with the fingertips on the floor. Open the rib cage first. So allow that rib cage to rotate. You want to rotate your whole side body. And then reach your arm up and over. Again, you can stay here with the supporting arm, the left arm straight. You can slide it a little bit away, or like we did on the other side, you can rest it onto the block. So the forearm gets a little bit of a lift. And then again, keep opening up through the rib cage. The right knee, the right hip is down. The left knee and left hip is grounded and rooted. Your chin towards your armpit, and you're lengthening out of the body. One thing to be mindful here is of the right shoulder. Make sure it moves back and down into its socket. So don't move the shoulder towards the ear, but move it away from the ear instead. Feel that nice length and extension to the whole right side body. Inhale to reach and lengthen. Exhale to softly be here for another breath. Good. And with the next exhale, let's see if you can rotate the chest a little bit more. And with the next inhale, let's see if you can come up, all the way up. Good. Move the block off to the side. And then we'll take that same forward fold, so hands behind the back. Hold on to your opposite elbows. Wiggle yourself through. Get a nice tight grip so your fingertips are wrapping around the outsides of your arms. And then exhale, take your forward fold. You may find that one side is a little bit easier than the other. It's okay. If the forehead doesn't come all the way down, let it hover, let it relax. If it does, let it rest. If the forehead comes down too easy, then bring your chin to the mat instead. Easy with the breath.
Mindful of your lotus leg here that is being compressed. Keep the shoulders even and square. Hips back and down. Deep breath in. Slow breath out. And inhale, slowly making your way back up to center. Release the arms, release the legs. Let's extend the legs out for a moment. So extending out through the knees so you can flex the feet. Maybe give your legs a little bit of a massage or a squeeze. It's always good to kind of let the circulation go back into the legs, especially after being crossed. And keep the feet flexed, keep the toes pointing towards your face so that you can engage into the back of the legs. All right, from here, we're going to come to a tabletop position. So let's move them, any props you have, a little bit out of the way so they don't bump into you when you're moving. Let's start in tabletop. So from tabletop, we always practice this pose as basically like a tabletop plank. You want to feel the strength in your arms, shoulders, and core. So you push the floor away, arching out to the back, but not into cat, but instead engaging just enough, protracting the shoulders is what we're doing here. The tops of the feet are pressing into the floor. Don't let your feet lift up. Keep the tops of the feet down so that the shins, the calves, and everything is kind of actively pulling down towards the mat. And then at the same time, you're kind of pushing the floor away and lifting the rib cage and the chest. Keep the belly hollowed out. Let's hold one more breath. This is a good way to practice. If we ever do anything a little bit more difficult, you can always come back here. So from here, we're going to go ahead and tuck the toes under and just lift the knees up off the floor, engaging a little bit more core strength. So we find ourselves in this lifted position. Try not to sink into your shoulders. Push away. Good. I saw that. Now press into the fingertips. Lengthen up through the body. Reach the tailbone back. Top of the head forward. And then exhale. Go back into your downward facing dog. Now let's go ahead and pedal out this downward facing dog. Move and sway the hips one way. Other way. You can move the head with it. So maybe chin towards left armpit. Chin towards right armpit as your knees bend. You can walk the feet in a little farther away or a little closer, kind of situate yourself in your downward facing dog. Maybe a little rock side to side, moving the weight forward and back. Treat this downward facing dog almost like you're checking in with your body. You're asking your body how it feels, what it needs today, how it's moving. And then, just have that conversation. Always kind of asking for permission in a way and paying attention to what your body needs. Try not to overdo it. If you need a break, you can always go down to balasana. If you want to engage a little bit more, you can press the heels down, lift the toes, lengthen to the back of the legs, the hamstrings, move the chest towards the thighs. Keep creating that space from fingertips to hips and from hips to heels. Shoulder blades wrap around the body, belly's drawn in tightly. Gaze is towards your knees, your thighs, or it's in the direction of your navel. Now, next inhale breath, we're going to look forward. We're going to step the feet halfway up the mat. We're going to do a hanging forward fold. So soften the knees, keep your hands planted on the floor, soften your elbows, and bring your rib cage to your thighs. Once you're there, let your head relax. You can interlace your hands behind your head. This is a little different. Normally we hang here, but with the hands interlaced behind the head, open the elbows and see if that gives you a little bit of a different type of stretch. Again, not overdoing it, just seeing what feels good. The knees can stay really soft here. You can almost be in a semi-squat if you need to be. But I want you to try to think about feeling this all the way from where the glutes connect to your hips, all the way down into the hamstrings, and maybe deeply into your hamstrings. You don't want to feel this in the back of your knees, and you don't want to feel this too much into the sacrum part or your lower back. You might feel some stretch there, but it should never be painful. If the hand position is not quite for you, you don't love it, it's feeling awkward or funky or making you feel like you're going to fall forward, you can always release the hands, interlace the elbows, and then kind of hang there too. That's a nice one as well. And again, maybe rock or sway, lift and lower. As you hang here, you might find but the legs naturally begin to straighten on their own. Maybe you started in a really deep bend, but as we hang here, we start to feel that lift in the tailbone, that slow moving forward so that the weight transfers towards the balls of the feet and towards the toes. Relax the shoulders and neck. Let your head hang heavy, like a nice, beautiful ripe mango off the tree. Long, extended spine. No worries, no issues here, just being. Not trying to get out of the pose, not trying to deepen in any way, but just kind of having that conversation with the body. What does it need today? What do you need today? What can you do to make your body more comfortable in this pose? Now, with the next inhale, I'm going to bring the hands to the floor. Grab yourself a block. Place it in front, in between the 2 feet, and bring your hands to the block. You can put it sideways so that you can fit both hands. And then now we're going to straighten the legs. So now we get to really contract the quadriceps. Your blocks have levels, so maybe you need a little bit more height or a lot more height in your block. So you decide which level your block needs to be at. Hands are on the block. Contract your quadriceps, lift your kneecaps, and see if you can straighten through the legs. So here we're trying to straighten through the legs. Tops of the toes are down, whole foot is down, heels are down, everything's down, belly's drawn in. Lift the chest, lift the ribcage, look forward. So this is similar to our halfway lift. Now exhale, let's fold again. Soften the knees, ribcage to thighs, top of the head towards the floor, and then again either holding on to your opposite elbows or taking that new position, interlace hands behind the head and elbows back and away. It just adds one extra level of strength that you have to maintain with the arms out of the way, not helping you balance. And it creates a little bit of opening through the back, lengthening the back. One more breath, inhale. Exhale, hands back to the block, lift the chest, straighten the legs, shoulders back, chin up, find your halfway lift. We're going to do it one more time. Exhale, soften the knees, belly's drawn in, ribcage to thighs. Interlace the hands behind the head if you like, and then hang here. Kind of guiding your ribcage, chest, and head to the space between the legs. You really want to close that gap. Do what you can. Remember, your knees can be really bent here. This is fine. If your knees are really bent, maybe you can hold on to your ankles, or you can kind of bring your hands to the floor. Whatever your body needs for you here. Inhale, hands to the block. Lift the head and chest, straighten the legs, shoulders back. And then let's go ahead and pedal out the legs. So bend one knee, straighten one knee, move and sway your hips side to side. All right, we're gonna go for an easy rotation. So bend the right knee, keep the right hand down on the block, open up the left side of the body, reach the left fingertips up, look up. The left leg can be straight, but the right knee should be deeply bent so you can find rotation. Exhale, take it down. Left hand down, left knee bends. Tilt your hips to the left. Open up the right side of the body and look up towards the right fingertips. Keep your wrists straight to your right wrist, nice and straight. Feet are grounded and rooted, pushing into that left hand. Exhale, back down. Let's do that 2 more times. Right knee bends, right hand down, left arm opens up, rotate and twist. Exhale, bring it down. Left knee bends. Inhale, right arm up. Open and twist. Find your rotation in your body. You don't want to go over behind you. Go straight up with that right arm. Be gentle with the shoulder. Exhale, bring it down. One last time each side. Right leg bends. Left arm opens. Really reach and extend to the left fingertips. Exhale, bring it down. And last time, left knee bends, right arm opens up, reach up, rotate chest, and exhale, bring it down. Good. From here, walk your feet open a little bit, slide the block behind you. We're going to come to a seated position on the block. So sit your hips down and take a moment to let your head come back up and equalize. So from the inverted position that we were in, this now should feel like, maybe a little bit of a head rush, maybe a little bit of movement through the brain.
It's all good. We're seated, we're comfortable, we're safe. Now we're gonna have the knees pretty wide apart and the toes open out to the sides. So we can bring the elbows inside the knees and help push the knees open as you bring your chest through. So one thing we want to avoid here is collapsing through the back like this. We want to instead lift and lengthen so that you're almost moving forward in your pelvis. And then you're still sitting on the block, so you're not doing this just by the strength of your legs, but also with the help of the block. Steady yourself here. This pose is called malasana, or garland pose. Means garland in English. All right, one more breath. Inhale. We're going to try folding forward. So bringing the fingertips to the floor, walk your fingertips forward and see how much forward you can go. Maybe it's not much. For me, it's like right about there. But perhaps your hips are nice and open. Perhaps you're able to come a lot more forward. Maybe even bring your elbows to the mat. For me, this is about as far as I can go without creating too much roundness in the back. Palms can come down, and I like to tilt myself forward a little bit. I don't know if you can tell, but my block is lifting ever so slightly, tilting forward. That's okay. Let yourself tilt forward, reach forward, keep your feet planted. Stay here, shoulders back. You can relax your head, kind of look towards your thumbs. Belly is drawn in. You're kind of just feeling the openness happen. You're bringing your whole body in between the legs. And then inhale, walk your fingertips back or come up off the floor, back to garland pose. Perhaps you notice that after that forward fold, this one is a lot easier to do. Shoulders back and down. Take your gaze down towards the tip of your nose. And again, checking in with the body. We're going to be checking in a lot throughout today's practice. One more breath. And exhale. Let's go ahead and release the arms. Slide the feet in towards each other. And let's give ourselves a nice rounded back. So as before we were up and straight, pull the middle back, the lower back. Push it away from you. Bring the forehead towards the knees. Give yourself a nice squeeze. Maybe come to the tips of your nose or your toes so that you can balance a little bit here. So we're kind of reversing all of that lifting to this rounding in the back, forehead to the knee. And then inhale, slowly release. All right, we're going to come to standing. We're going to try to do it with the block underneath us. We're going to bring the arms forward, plant your feet nice and rooted and grounded. Inhale, lift yourself up, and come to standing. If that was successful, great. If not, no worries. We'll have lots more chances. Maybe not in today's practice, but in general. So come to the top of your mat. We are going to use the blocks for the sequencing next, but for now you can leave them off to the side. So toes and heels together, legs engaged, hollow out through the lower belly, little tuck under through the pelvis, lift up through the rib cage, find long extended body, arms down by your sides, chin up. Just find Samasthiti, which is our equal standing posture. Again, just like in every pose, there's a balance between effort and ease. So there's effort in maintaining the pose, but there's a sense of ease that you can hold and be here for a little bit of time. Let's go ahead and inhale, draw the arms up. Palms together, gazing towards thumbs. Roll the shoulders back and down. Press down through the soles of your feet. So really elevate your body. Don't let this just be a movement, but a movement with intention. Now exhale, softly bend the knees and bend the elbows gently so that you can come down towards the mat. Now, if your hands don't quite make it to the mat, let's say your fingertips are here, or you gotta bend your knees a whole lot. Let's grab the blocks, place them on either sides of the feet, and that way your hands can come to the blocks, flat hands, all the way flat. From here, let the head relax, and see if you can lengthen to the back of the legs. Bring your forehead towards your shin. Shoulders back and down, and your arms are bent. There's a softness in the elbows. Now inhale, lift halfway. Now this is a little different than the one we did before. The hands are behind the toes, so fingers and toes are lined up. Lift the ribcage and roll your weight forward ever so slightly to roll the shoulders back. Exhale, keep the hands planted on the blocks and step or walk your feet back. If you don't need the blocks, that's okay. You don't have to have them, but I'm going to use them today to guide the class. So we find our high plank. Now traditionally we come into the high plank.
Typically, we kind of rock our weight back. See if you can rock your weight forward and then push back with your heels to line up your core. So you're in one line. Hold here and breathe. Push into the hands, just like we did when we were on all fours. Exhale, we're gonna either come down to the knees or chaturanga from the toes. So gently lower yourself down towards the blocks, but you're not gonna touch the floor because you're too high up. Inhale, press yourself up to come into upward facing. So now you can kind of wiggle into the hips a little bit, relax the abdomen, draw it in, but don't tense. Relax the glutes, keep them engaged, but don't tense. Shoulders back, try to press the tops of your feet into the floor, and don't let your heels splay out. Point your heels straight up to the ceiling, and as you drop the hips, lift the chest. Good, very nice. Chin up, shoulders back. Let's stay one more breath. You can do it. Exhale. Curl over the toes, so push your hips up. Push your hips up, curl over the toes, and come to downward facing dog. Beautiful work, you guys. Stay here in downward facing dog. Shoulder blades back, belly drawn in, hands are still on the blocks if you're using them. Keep pulling into the lower navel. So using the blocks helps us to find a lower position without plopping onto the mat and kind of just surrendering to gravity. Instead, we use our strength to push away. Don't worry, we'll do it again. Now, here, inhale, look forward, pivot your left heel in, and step your right foot between the blocks. So your right toes and your fingertips are all in one line. Lower the hips down, stay and stabilize here, or you can bring your hands to your thigh and come up. So we're trying to move into some warrior poses, bringing that left hip forward and left shoulder forward, sitting into the right leg and stretching out through that left heel. So don't lift the heel, push it down to the floor. From here, if you don't need your arms, inhale, arms up, palms towards thumbs. We're gazing towards thumbs, palms together, press the palms together. And exhale, bring them down. All right, here's a change. Pivot into that left heel so you find more of a lunge. Drop the hips. Hands still on your thighs. Lift your chest, shoulders back. Now from here, can we drop just the left knee? Gently and slowly until it comes all the way to the floor. Once it's there, release the toes. Move the hips forward. Stay here. So you're using your hands almost to counter the space and move your chest back. So again, you can either stay here for the whole time, or you can bring your arms down. Inhale, lift up. Palms can come together, looking at the thumbs, and then arch back as you see fit. Moving your weight forward and down. Mindful of your right knee and right ankle. Let them be together in one line, not the knee shooting forward. Hips forward and down. Exhale, release. Hands back to the block. And then move your weight back. Flex into the right foot. Keep pressing into the top of the left foot. And then take it forward. Move back and forth here a couple of times just to check in with those hips. And again, have that conversation with your body. On this third one, we're going to fold over the right leg. So exhale, take it back. Flex or point into the right foot, your choice. And then exhale, fold over the right leg. Keeping the hands on the blocks haven't moved, they're still there. And inhale, lift. Exhale, step it forward. Tuck the left toes under, straighten the left leg. And we're gonna go here for a right foot back. So push into the blocks so you can elevate that right foot. Hover here for a moment, engaging the core, and then step the right foot back. Find your high plank once more. Push the heels back, shoulders engaged. Hollow out through the navel, strong core. Here we go. Next chaturanga, lower down. So just going to be a little bit of work in the middle. Good. Hover. Don't come to the floor. Inhale. Push yourself up. Roll onto the tops of your feet. Wiggle yourself here. Get settled in. So don't fight the difficulty, but instead find where you can engage and where you can soften. Sometimes just a little rock side to side does the job. Sometimes just a little bit of a lift through the chest. Maybe chin up, looking in the nose. Exhale. Let's lift the hips. Curl over the toes. and find downward facing. Stay here. So downward facing becomes a little bit of a resting posture at some point in your practice. Maybe that's not the point you're at today. But if it is, if this feels resting, great, stay here. And if you need a balasana or a child's pose, you're welcome to take that. I'll give you a few seconds before we move on so you can make it back to your downward facing dog. Hollow out the belly. Reach the heels down, even if they don't touch. Lift the quadriceps and kneecaps. Move the space of the chest and torso through. It's okay if there's a little shaking in the body. No worries, let it shake. As long as it's not painful, you're fine. If you're in Balasana, make your way up to downward facing, and we're going to move on. So inhale, look forward between the blocks, and we're going to step the left foot forward, pivot the right heel in. So finding that the strong leg setup for a warrior one. Again, you're welcome to stay here. You don't have to do anything else. But if your legs feel stable, bring your hands onto your left thigh and come up, lifting the hips. Dropping that left knee and making the left thigh as parallel to the floor as possible. Use the arms and the chest, arms to lift the chest. You're welcome to stay here or to go fully into the posture by taking the arms up, palms together, looking at thumbs. Back leg is nice and straight, pushing into the floor with the pinky edge side of the foot. Exhale, slowly bring the arms down, back onto the thigh, and we're going to pivot onto that right toe, making sure you find your balance. And with control, let's lower the right knee down, plant the top of the right foot onto the floor. Now here's very important that your knee is not shooting past. So if your knee looks like this, you're going way past, that's going to be very bothersome for your knee. So step your foot forward, keep your knee parallel to the ankle. Another thing that might happen is that your back knee is really close, like this, like a 90-degree angle. So if that's the case, slide that knee back and get yourself into a lunge position. So from here, you can keep your hands also onto your thigh as you move your hips forward. Great place to be. Or if you want to go a little deeper, arms up, palms together, gazing towards thumbs, and then creating as much or as little of an arch back as you see fit. Dropping the hips forward and down. Imagine your pelvis moving towards your left heel. Exhale, bring your hands back down, all the way to the blocks, and then move your left hip back. Flex your right foot, arms are straight, lift the chest. Inhale, take it forward. So we do it 3 times. Exhale. Inhale. The 3rd time, we're going to fold forward. Exhale, take it back. You can point or flex the left foot, your choice. Exhale, fold over the left leg. Relax the shoulders. Easy, stable breath. If your chin touches your knee or your shin, great. If not, no worries. Just try to keep the right hip and right shoulder moving forward as you fold. Inhale, take it forward. Tucking the back toe under, we're going to straighten the leg. You need to bring your weight to your arms here. If your weight stays on your left foot, no way you can pick it up. So you need to transfer your weight from your left foot to your arms. Push so that you can lift that left foot and hover. Stay here for a breath or 2, just see what you can do. Exhale, bring it back. Find your high plank once more. Pushing the heels back. Bringing your weight forward, shoulders back, so you don't want to be all the way forward like this. Keep bringing weight back to your heels. Exhale, let's go. Chaturanga, lower down. Inhale, push up. Upward facing. It takes a little bit of struggle, that's okay. Exhale, curl the toes back as you lift the hips. And come to your downward facing dog. Stay here, let the head relax. Shoulders soften. Easy breathing. Keep drawing in through the navel. Sense of lift and space in the body. And then inhale, look forward. step or walk your feet back to the top of your mat so your toes and the top of the blocks are together. Inhale, lift halfway, maybe you come to your fingertips. Exhale, fold deeply. Take your deepest forward fold, shoulders relaxed. Inhale, strong legs, soften the knees a little bit, belly in, arms up. Everything all the way up, palms together, gazing at thumbs. Exhale, arms down. Beautiful job. All right, one more sequence and then we'll make it down to the floor. So from here, we're gonna bend the knees, gonna come into a modified Utkatasana. So if you imagine yourself sitting down into your hips, you're kind of lengthening out of your rib cage and into your lower belly. We're gonna take the right elbow on the outside of the left thigh, find twist, palms together, and look back over left shoulder or towards left elbow. Just a gentle movement. Don't overdo it and keep your knees pointing forward. Exhale, come back. You can bring your hands to your thighs or your knees a little bit here for a little bit of a break. It's okay. Or if you don't need a break, you can extend your arms forward. Exhale, let's take it the other way. So left elbow outside of the right thigh, palms together, sit the hips, look back over right elbow, right shoulder, twisting the torso. Beautiful. Inhale. Exhale, come back, either using your hands for a little bit of help, or extending your arms forward, or even lifting your arms up, looking to thumbs. Exhale, keep your knees bent, bring your hands down to the mat, and walk your feet back so that they're behind the blocks. Now we're gonna try low asana. So your knees come between the arms and you're on your toes. Weight to your hands, lift one foot, maybe lift the other, chin forward. Find balance here. So both feet are off the floor. You're balancing on your arms. Exhale, bring the toes down. Settle down for a moment. Take a breather. That pose is really hard to do. So if you weren't able to elevate both toes, there's nothing wrong with you. It's completely normal. But we're going to try it again because anything that's difficult to do is that you have to put some effort, right? Like you can't, if it was easy, everybody would do it. So we're going to try it again. We're going to try it 2 more times. Hands down on the blocks. Bring your weight forward so your toes are kind of really high up, almost like you're wearing like stiletto heels. Now right now, my weight is on my toes. I don't even need my hands. I don't need my hands on the floor. My weight are all on my toes. I'm going to transfer the weight from my toes to my hands by bringing the weight forward and then pushing up. Now here, still some weight on the toes. See if you can elevate 1 or 2 or alternate maybe. First one, then the other. Shoulders back, toes point back and away, chin up, smile because it's tough, and then exhale, toes down, and take a break. Woo! Good job. Breathe. So remembering that's in the beginning of our practice, this is a breathing practice. If you're holding your breath, you're not quite doing yoga. You're doing weird, difficult things with your body. Without the breath, it's no longer yoga. So allow yourself to breathe as you move through these. All right, one more. Transferring the weight towards the hands, bringing your weight forward. Inhale deeply, exhale. See if you can lift up. Hold 1, 2. Are you breathing? 3, almost there. 4, don't give up. And 5, toes come down. Take a break, however you did. If it was successful, if it wasn't, no sweat. It is what it is. We're going to step our feet back now and back onto the blocks. Step your feet back, find your high plank. Hold there and breathe. Finding this high plank position really helps to create the strength we need to lower down to chaturanga. Remember, because we have the blocks, we don't come all the way to the floor, we hover, which is how you're supposed to do it, even if you don't have the blocks. But it's okay, however your body needs to do it, that's what you need today. Exhale, let's lower down, nice and controlled. Chaturanga, elbows back, shoulders forward, chin up. Inhale, push yourself up into upward facing, soften the hips, wiggle it out, relax the neck, let yourself be here. Once you're in this position, this is about engaging into the tops of the feet and making sure your heels are pointing up, but your arms are supporting you and they're stacked, so it should feel okay. Exhale, curl under, lift the hips, downward facing. Stay here. Breathe easy. If you need balasana, take balasana. If you're okay in your downward facing dog, keep your eyes open, your gaze towards your thighs. Regulate your breath. Easy inhale, slow exhale. All right, we're going to pivot the left heel in. Actually, no, we're not. Keep your feet parallel to each other and lift the right leg up towards the sky for a three-legged dog. So you're pushing the right leg up, just fine, wherever it is, doesn't have to overdo it. And then go ahead and slide the right foot forward and stay on your left toes here. We're going to go for a little balance movement. So fingertips or palms on the floor, rock your way forward, lift your leg up. So you can keep your fingertips on the blocks. No worries, you can stay here as the left leg elevates, drop the left hip, shoulders back, find balance. If you don't need your hands, maybe you can lift your chest and see if your arms can go behind you, like you're flying. Lift the rib cage. Exhale. Lower the hands if they weren't lowered and see if you can fold deeply, reaching your chin towards your shin and your left leg up. Exhale, drop the left foot back. Find that lunge. Let's go ahead and drop the left knee. We're going to take another twist. So right hand stays on the mat, on the block. Open the left arm. And exhale. Left hand on the block. Open the right arm. And exhale. Good. Tuck the left toe under. Straighten the left leg. Right foot back. Find your high plank. Exhale. Chaturanga. Inhale. Deep breath in, upward facing. Exhale, deep breath out, downward facing. Stay here, good job. All right, we just have to repeat that same short sequence on the other side. So keeping the feet parallel, we're gonna take the left leg up, three-legged dog. Press the hands into the box. You can kind of secure them by grabbing the tip of the pinky finger and the thumb around the block, really moving your chest through. Inhale, slide the left leg through, plant it down between the blocks. Find your balance here. Going for the twist or the rotation, the left arm stays, open the right. Exhale, right arm down, open the left, and skip the balance. We're going to do it here, don't worry. As long as we put it in, that's all that matters. And then we're going to slide that left leg, right leg in, balance onto the left foot. You can come to your fingertips as you find your balance, drop the right hip. Little softness in the left knee will go a long way. Stay there, you can come up to find a little bit more balance. If you feel good, arms up, lift the chest, shoulders back. Exhale, lower the hands and drop yourself down as you elevate that right leg. Exhale, drop the left knee down. And we already did the twist, so just step the left foot back. High plank. One more time. Chaturanga. Inhale, upward facing. Exhale, downward facing. Beautiful job. From here, take a couple of breaths. We're actually going to make our way to seated. So you can keep the blocks, just separate them, make them a little wider so you have room to move your body through. In fact, slide them back on your mat about halfway back, and then walk your feet back so your heels are almost at the edge of your mat. So from here, we're going to look forward. We're going to put the top of the right foot on the inside edge of that left block, and then the other side. So here, our weight is in our arms. Don't bring your knees down. Wiggle your feet through, extend the legs, and then sit down. So with the use of the blocks, hopefully it's a little bit easier. It elevates you so you're a little bit more. Now move the blocks off to the sides because we're going to start winding our practice down. Let's take Paschimottanasana. Fingertips, grab the toes. Inhale, lift the chest. Exhale, fold forward. Relax, shoulders back. Steady your breath. Easy inhale, slow exhale. So we're starting to wind down the body. We're going to do one more kind of balanced strength pose before we start the descent. Inhale, lift halfway.
Exhale there, release. Okay, so this pose is actually in the second half of primary series. We usually roll into it, but today we're going to practice just holding onto the toes and walking your feet in so that you can balance onto the space between your sits bones and your tailbone. So rock a little bit so you find that space. It shouldn't hurt your back. It shouldn't hurt your tailbone. You're kind of feeling yourself really rooted through that lower part, upper part of your glutes. Now from here, maybe you can start to lift the legs and stay here with the legs bent, holding onto the feet, feet flexed, toes together. If this feels okay, straighten the legs all the way. And then lastly, if this feels okay, point through the toes, lift the chest, look up. So it's a combination of a balanced posture because it's very likely you could fall back in this posture. But if you keep the legs engaged, then you can find that happy center where your equilibrium is set. So your legs are bringing your weight forward and the weight of your head back and your chest up is keeping your weight back. So then you find that nice happy middle ground. Now exhale, bend the knees, cross the feet, take a moment, hands on the floor, inhale, pick your butt up, exhale, lower down. Okay, let's go all the way down onto the mat and we're going to do a supported bridge with the block. So grab a block, lay all the way down, take the block, place it underneath the hips or underneath the sacrum. And then from here, you can have the knees bent. Remember your blocks have levels, so you can always go to a higher version of this, or you can keep it at this medium version. This is a good place to start, and we're going to do it twice. So a good place to start is where it's comfortable. Then you can start to extend the legs. Relax through the glutes, so don't tense up through your glutes, but instead soften there. Let them be. We're going to want to try to feel here in the hip flexors, in the psoas muscles that move forward. Your weight is in your shoulders and a little bit into your heels, but mostly you're feeling that elevation here in the hips. And then you can extend your arms overhead. And we're going to hold here for a couple of breaths. Easy and steady. Remember, we're winding down. So even though this is a back bend, it's not an active back bend, it's a restorative back bend. So we're actually being quite gentle with the body here. One more breath. Let your hips and legs relax. Don't tense. Tension creates a little bit of tightness, so you don't want to create tightness. Instead, you want to release the tightness. So no tension. Activation is okay, only where it's needed. From here, we're going to release the arms back down. Slide the feet in so that the feet are underneath the knees. And then now you can change the level of your block. So maybe you want your block a little higher, or maybe you want your block a little lower. Maybe that was tough. Maybe bringing the block lower. If the block is at its highest setting, I don't recommend straightening the legs, but just sliding them a little further away. That's going to help find that opening here. So no legs straight, just slide them away, maybe, where the feet are still planted on the floor. Shoulders are down, chin is towards the chest. The rib cage is open and lifted. Feeling the front of the pelvis and the hips kind of widening and extending towards the sky. And then we can take the arms up overhead, and we can find a sense of ease here. One of the main culprits in this posture is the knees flopping out to the side. So keep your feet planted, keep your knees parallel to each other. And the other one is creating tension in the glutes. So don't squeeze the glutes. Keep them relaxed. Let the pose work for itself. You don't have to do anything here. That's the beauty of the restorative postures, is you can just let them be. Couple more breaths. If you feel like your weight is going to the pinky edge side of your feet, press the big toes down. Kind of engaging a little bit into the inner thighs, and then check in with the glutes, make sure they're relaxed. One more breath, inhale. And exhale, let's release the arms down, walk the feet in, maybe go onto your toes, elevate the hips, move the block out of the way, and roll yourself all the way down. Might feel like a long way down. From here, bring the knees into the chest, give yourself a nice hug, a nice roll, a nice lower back massage.
Always with gratitude for your body, for being able to do the things that it does. There's Duke, getting ready for his walk. All right, from here, let's go ahead and just extend the legs up, arms down. You can, if you like, if it's comfortable for you, place the block underneath the hips so that you can find a little bit more elevation. This is fine to do. For me, I don't know, I'm feeling like my hips should be down, so I'm gonna move the block out, but that's an option for you. All right, nobody needs to see it. Move on. Okay, good job. So from here, just let yourself relax. You can have your hands at your belly and at your heart or down by your side, palms facing up. Remember, we're continuing the cool down process. Also making sure that this feels very restorative for you. You don't want to feel like you're struggling to keep your legs up, but instead soften your legs. You can even hold on to them. Perhaps if it's hard for you to keep them up, you can hold on to the legs. Give yourself a little aid. Close the eyes, start bringing your attention inward, processing through the body, the movement, the effort, the ease, the breath that has made up our practice today. And with the next exhale, let's slowly bend the knees, start to lower the heels down towards the butt, and just kind of bring the feet down to the floor. Good. And we'll take our shavasana, so with the legs straightened, let the tops of the feet or the soles of the feet relax. Let the toes flop out to the side so that we feel a little widening through the pelvis. Arms down by your sides, palms facing up. You can have your arms separated here from your body. Easy inhale and slow exhale. Take breaths. Slowly, gently.
Begin to bring awareness back to the body. Back to this next cycle of breath. I invite you to keep your eyes closed until the end of our practice today. As you start to wiggle the toes and fingers, the hands, wrists, feet, and ankles begin to move, turn, sway. You might feel a little cracking, a little popping in the joints. That's okay. Bending the knees, taking a constructive rest pose, having the feet set apart as the knees come in towards each other. Tuck the pelvis under and settle your tailbone down, your sacrum down. From here, right hand on the belly, left hand at your heart. And just feel the rising and lowering of the chest and abdomen with each breath that you take. Completely present. With the next exhale, you can either roll over onto your side or maybe linger there for another moment or two. You can use your bottom arm for a pillow. And again, just keeping the eyes closed, keeping this kind of darkness within, gazing into the darkness behind the eyelids. Let that be your space right now. Don't have to take in the world right away. We can stay in this little yoga bubble for a little bit longer, creating calmness in the heart and the mind and in the body. From here, you can press up into a seated position. And as you make your way to seated, just sit comfortably, whatever that means for you. Let the hands rest at the lap or on the knees. Let the shoulders soften. Let the spine rise up out of the sits bones. And just bring back your intention or your dedication for your practice. See if anything has changed within you. See if there's a difference. Sometimes the difference is very subtle. And sometimes it's quite obvious. So see what you find. Checking in with the body. As we exhale, we'll draw the palms together at the center of the heart once more, inhaling to preparing for Om. Om. May we feel protected and safe. May we feel contented and pleased. May our physical bodies support us with health and strength. And may our lives unfold smoothly with ease. Namaste.